Hey, fight fans, I'm in Dallas, and I'm with Nate Jennerman, and it's for LFA 47. He's going for the interim featherweight title. You must be excited about that.
Super excited to get this LFA interim title tonight. It's been a long time coming. I've been calling for the belt since my first fight in LFA, and I'm just happy to get the shot.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the last time I interviewed in the post-fight interview, you figured that this was the direction you were going to go. So Damon Jackson's pretty much been on the radar. How do you train for a guy like him?
He's a really tough dude. He's got a good wrestling background, so I've been working with a lot of wrestlers getting ready for this fight, and I'm going to take it to him.
Nate, you have been very, very busy. I mean, you just fought 9 weeks ago. What's it like staying continuously on the grind?
That's what I prefer. I like to just get in, take care of business, and then like to book a fight right away so I can just get right back in the gym and focus on somebody. That's the way I like to be. I like to stay focused on someone, and it was Damon Jackson. We were focused on him right away.
I have to ask you this because the last time I interviewed Nate, I was talking to him and he was saying Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson's probably going to be next to me. Was he on your radar as well?
He's an active guy, so, I want to fight people that are active. So, his name was on there, but honestly, I wasn't looking towards him. I was looking at Bobby Moffitt. It was actually who I was thinking I was going to fight because he had beat Nate. So, I was looking towards Bobby Moffitt, and then he kind of got on a win streak, and then, then after that, I kind of noticed him. And then he called me out, so then I was really noticing. Somebody was like, "Hey, did you watch the fights tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm about that. I got them DVR'd. I'll watch them later." And they're like, "Well, someone called you out," and so that's when I looked him up. So
it's kind of cool because the call out comes from a place of like absolute respect. It's like you guys both really appreciate each other's techniques, so there's none of that other type of call out. What were your thoughts on when he called you out?
Just like that, I could tell that it was genuine. It wasn't like he was like, talking smack. It was he wants to fight, a quality opponent, and that's what I want too. So, I think we're both ready to go.
This is actually a fan favorite fight because of the fact that you guys have 22 submissions between the two of you. Where do you say that you have the advantage?
Well, I got most of those submissions, so I'm not scared to go to the ground with anyone. And if he wants to take the fight there, then all power to him. I'll be ready to go. So, and I feel like he backs up a lot, so I'm gonna be in his face, and we'll see how he handles that pressure.
He does respect your wrestling very much. He did mention that. Do you think that's going to be a factor in this fight as well?
I think it's a factor with every fight I go into. It's something that I pride myself on having that timing to go into the takedown when I want it. But I have been putting a lot of pressure on my boxing to really improve that to where I don't shoot in on a bad shot. And that's something that I think Nate's really good at with catching people on their timing, on their shots, and he gets people's necks. So I'll have to look out for that. But, I'm ready to go.
All right, so let's say that you have to promote this fight. You're the promoter. What do you say about both opponents? What do you think this fight is going to look like tonight?
This fight, Damon comes in with 14 finishes. I come in with 10 finishes. Somebody's getting finished tonight, and it's not going to be me.
What I think is funny is when we were doing the pre-fight interviews, you said that you think people underestimate your stand-up, which to me is crazy, the fact that you come from Rufus Sport. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I absolutely think people underestimate my stand-up. I'm just a skinny white kid, and people don't think I can hit hard, but once I hit him with that right hand tomorrow night, he's going to think different. He's going to look for that takedown. I guarantee it.
Now, I know that you're expecting a finish because of the way you guys both fight. Where do you see that happening? Is it happening standing or is it happening on the ground?
I see it happening in the stand-up this time. I think this is going to be my first pro knockout. It's been a long time coming, but I think it's coming.
And I know that your stand-up has significantly improved every single time that we see you. Where do you see the stand-up happening? Where do you see that war going tonight?
I see me being in his face with my boxing, and then how he handles the pressure will be where it goes from there. If he fires back at me, might go to the ground. If he keeps backing up, I'm not going to shoot in while he's backing up. So we'll see how he handles the pressure, and then we'll go from there.
One thing I really love, especially with fighters who have gone to the UFC or come back, you guys mature. You mature really well, emotionally, physically. What have you learned about yourself as a fighter and what to do in fight camp? I mean, anything from like diet tips to just being a pro now.
Yeah, I've been fighting like on the amateur circuit for, or amateur into my pro career since 2009. So, I've got 10 years of just this constant battle of training too much or training too little, and with my diet, it's always got to be on point. So I've learned a lot over the years, and going to the UFC is amazing because you get there, you feel like that's as good as you can make it, and then when you get cut, you're like, I want that feeling again of being back at that level, because you're respected so much more as a fighter in the UFC, and which is crazy to even say that, because the way LFA does their shows now, they're right there where I have that same feeling of the pride where I'm fighting for the belt tonight, and it really means a lot to me to fight for the LFA title. So get a little bit of redemption for the first my first attempt with Kevin. It didn't go my way, but I'm ready to go tonight.
Then that just kind of leads to the next question. After this, there's only a couple places you can go. You're either going back to the UFC or it's Aguilar again. So one or the other. I mean, of course, everybody wants to jump into the UFC, but if you have to go against Aguilar again, how would you see that going?
Yeah, if I had to fight him again, I would take the fight, all day. But it's just it's really frustrating to lose and to be finished in the fight. So, I definitely would want that back. But I'm looking at, just trying to mature and go on to the next step and keep going up. So if it means fighting him, if I had to have one more fight to go to the UFC before, then I'm going to take the fight all day. And if I get the call, then I get the call and I'll be ready to go.
Well, a little post-happy birthday for you. I know your birthday was a couple of days ago, and then you plan on going on vacation after this. How does it feel to just kind of get this fight out of the way and then just jump away to a break?
I'm not a big fan of breaks. I have a really hard time of taking time off. So whenever we have a vacation, I'm trying to find something to do while I'm gone, like some work. And so I have a hard time with that. But it'll be nice. But I was cutting weight on my birthday, which was horrible because I was cutting weight all day. It was pretty rough, but it's worth it. It's the second birthday that I've cut weight on, so it's all good.
So that means that we just have to give you a cake after the fight.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely take some. I'm not a big cake fan, but I'll get some cake for sure.
All right, well, thank you so much. This is a fan favorite fight. This is an extremely stacked division, and you can catch it on Access TV, and we'll see you there.
Could it be night time? And that is all. Textbook submission. He's out.